Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1971 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. Yesterday we wrapped up the month of August, and at the end of every month we have this supplementary video where we'll take a look at the standings, the league leaders, and this time around we also have the September call-ups. As you can see, we are going to start the month of September, the final month of the season. We'll probably do that tomorrow. We'll wrap up this 4-game series versus the Royals. But we're going to take a look at the September call-ups first in this video. We're going to look at the Seattle Pilots September call-ups and see if there are any rookies that we want to give an opportunity to here in the final month of the season, see what they're made of, and maybe find a spot in spring training for them next year. And then we're going to look at the September call-ups for all the teams that are contending. Most likely the teams will not have September call-ups that will make an immediate impact, but if there are injuries, some of those September call-ups might get thrust into action, immediately. So we'll see how that looks here. Let's go ahead and look at the Seattle Pilots batters here. Now, everybody from Joe Keogh down through Mike straight out of Compton are September call-ups. I did move the catcher Fred Kendall up a little bit higher because he's going to be our backup for this final month. We want to see what this guy is capable of. He is hitting well in the minor leagues. We moved him to AAA at the All-Star break, I believe it was. And you can see he's hitting pretty well, not a lot of power. And actually defensively, while he's a good fielder, he's got a terrible arm and he doesn't have very good range. So I don't know what that exactly is going to mean for him, but he is a player that I would foresee being a backup next year, as Clay Dalrymple will be off to free agency. We will not re-sign him. We do have other catchers here. We got Duffy Dyer. We got John Bocabella and Mike Compton as catching options. But the way that Manny Sanguillen is hitting right now, he has the opportunity to get over 500 at-bats in his first full season in the majors. We want him to finish out his season and put up the best stats that he possibly can. So Fred Kendall will probably get one start each series the rest of the way, and then, that's about all there is. We are already familiar with Keogh, with JDV, Don Young, Johnny Jeter. We did see Greg Pryor last year. He might get some opportunities at third base. Everybody else, we don't really care much about. They're just bodies taking up roster spots. We don't want to fill a roster spot with any of these guys that are in single A down here. As we scroll down one more, we have a lot of good players with a lot of potential, Hall of Famers even, but we don't want to get their clock started, toward arbitration yet. So we'll leave them where they are. We're not going to give them any at-bats. And there you have it. So there's our batters. Everybody else in the lineup, we want Tito and Cruz and Rich Rollins, Pepitone. We want them all to get at bats. Dave Parker has been a bit of a disappointment, but he's in the majors 3 years before he was in real life. So we're not going to get too worried that he's not producing, but I did expect a lot more from him. Don Bosch, we don't really care about. And Rick Auerbach, he's doing the best he can, at shortstop. Everybody else who's a normal bench guy will just be the normal bench guy. So there you have it. There's our batters for the final month of the season, and I think what you can expect to see from us. Now let's take a look at the pitchers. This is tougher because we really don't have anybody that we can slot in because we don't have a lot of minor league options. We've traded away a lot of our schlubs, so we don't have depth, right? And we already are struggling with what we have. The one thing we're going to try is we're going to put Jim Hughes as our number 5 starter Jim Hughes was signed in the preseason this year as an undrafted free agent. He pitched well in single A for 26 starts. We moved him to triple A. He made a couple of starts that I think are maybe more indicative of what we're going to get in the majors. He has good command and not really much else. His fastball is solid. 93 miles an hour, that's why I chose to sign him. And it's rated a 90. So for right now, he's a one-pitch pitcher. And we're going to go ahead and give him every 5 days the rest of the season. So he'll get 4 starts, maybe 5. We'll see what he's got. So, pardon me. So we've moved Ron Herbal back into his regular relief role. He's typically a long reliever, but as the bullpen has been extended, he's considered a middle reliever. Everybody else is the same. I know Granger sucks. He had his 11th blown save yesterday. But so does everybody that we put in that position. And I would like to believe that because Granger has been so horrible, that maybe this last month the game will grant him a little grace. And maybe he'll be more successful, coming out of the pen and closing out ball games. Now, the extended positions here in the bullpen, other than Edgerton, my name is Earl, and Mike Cosgrove, it does show Vukovic, Rotson, and Frost in the bullpen, but we will not use them. We do not want to start their arbitration clock either. They will not get an opportunity to pitch. They're still very young, with a lot of potential, and we're going to hold off at least and probably until either the All-Star break next year, or maybe not even until September call-ups. We'll give them a chance to develop a little bit more. Otherwise, that's who we're going with. Boswell, Ruthven, Leonard, Rubio, and we're going to give Jim Hughes a shot in the number 5 spot. Okay, so let's take a look at the standings, and then we'll take a look at the potential playoff combatants and their September call-up. So Baltimore right now has a 4.5 game lead over the Yankees. Everybody's got injuries right now, including Cleveland at 6.5 back. I'm going to go ahead and say Boston and Washington are out of it. Not mathematically, of course, but they're below 500, and there's just no way they're going to make a run. Now the West has Oakland and Chicago. They are neck and neck. Also teams with severe injuries that are, hurting both of the pitching staffs, really. Everybody else is out of it, including us. Let's look at the National League. St. Louis and New York and Chicago. Let's just say the 3 of them are still technically in it. Not technically in it. Obviously, they're technically in it. But, I don't think anyone's going to catch St. Louis. When you see their pitching staff, you're going to know why. And New York's got a really good pitching staff as well, but their hitters are not so good. And then, much like the American League West, LA and Houston are almost knotted up here. And they have a lot of injuries. Houston has a ton of injuries. So, Montreal and Cincinnati are already eliminated with a full month to go. They are toast. Okay, let's look at Baltimore's lineup and pitching staff here. We'll try to do this as quickly as we can. If you look down here, you'll see all the players that are September call-ups. Is there anyone that has made the main part of the roster? I would say anybody who's in the second set considered the bench that doesn't have any stats yet, that would be a September call-up, right? No. Joel Youngblood down here in single A, it's crazy. I think the guy's probably among the league leaders in batting average at .299, and yet they give him no respect. He's been put into single A. You have to give the Orioles some credit for making really good trades this year, and that's helped them stay in it despite, just like us, having negative cash flow, which means anybody who's a free agent on this team at the end of the year is going to free agency, and they will not be able to sign anyone. So they're all in right now. Looking at September call-ups, there's no one here that I think could make a real impact. I mean, I don't see anybody whose ratings look like they are going to help the Orioles get over the Yankees. Now we'll look at the pitching staff. This is a team that doesn't have a lot of depth either, right? Yeah. And they do have a couple of injuries. Marcelino Lopez will be back in a week. Tom Brown will be back by the end of the month. John Stromeyer also. Oh, and there's Mike Cuellar in 12 days. We'll be back. So they're getting two of their starters back, and that's good because Dick Rustic, although having a good rating, is really not a starter. And Buzz Steven, who's pitching well, doesn't have the rating. So you get Lopez, you get Cuellar back, and you're probably, actually, you know what? Cuellar's rating is really low. I wonder if it's because of his injury, that it's docked him a few extra rating points. I don't know. But you can look here at the relievers, and you can see that they're all kind of terrible. Without their closer, or their setup man, Stromeyer, who was killing it, and without Tom Brown, those are their two best relievers. I mean, this is a tough team. I have no idea what's going to happen with them. It looks like they barely even had a four-man rotation, based on the innings pitched. So, I don't know. We'll find out. Let's look at the Yankees real quick. Here's the Yanks. If it says tired, that means that they need a break, which the game doesn't often give them, unless it's an absolute emergency. Look at this. Ross Moschito, you might remember the Moschito man. He had 2 home runs. Oh, I'm sorry. He had 2 home runs last year, and they were in one game against us that won the ball game. That I remember that very well. Another team has made a couple of trades that helped them out with Bert Campaneris. Take a look here at the bench guys. No one here really stands out. Hal McRae is really just waiting for the DH to come into existence, and then he'll probably be an everyday player for them. He's got a couple more years. But it's weird that some of these big names are not performing very well. Roy White, Thurman Munson. Solita led the American League last year with 49 home runs. He's got 28. Bobby Mercer is probably doing the best of the people you expect to do well. And Bert Campaneris not hitting particularly well. It must be something with Yankee Stadium in the 1971 season. Their stadium effects must be below standard. Looking at their September call-ups, again, there's really nobody here. This guy named Charlie Sands has got a 90. He's a catcher that probably could surpass, well, I guess Jake Gibbs for sure. And he's right up there with Thurman Munson in rating. I would hate to see Charlie Sands take away at-bats from Thurman Munson, but it's going to happen probably next year. Let's look at their pitchers. This is the weirdest pitching staff in the American League. They have Larry Gohl leading the team with Fritz Peterson, Mel Stottlemyre, Doc Medich, and Al Downing. It looks like none of them have been injured this year except for maybe Gohl. Doc Medich was the number 5 starter, which is why you see he has less innings than everybody else, but he's in the number 4 spot now. He's got a 94. He's actually the best rated starter on this team. Their bullpen is pretty solid. You look at all of their bullpen September call-ups. They got Stan Bonson, they got Mudcat Grant, they got Ken Forsch. They have some big names there. Do they have any injuries? No, they do not. Okay, so, this is I think they're in better position to make a run against Baltimore and overtake them. So, we'll see. Yankees always seem to come through in the end, and Baltimore not having any money, especially money to give to their medical staff, that injuries might cost them here down the stretch. So we'll keep a close eye on them. Cleveland, I don't suspect they'll be around, but it doesn't mean they're not performing well. We'll take a look at them here real quick. September call-ups, I don't see anybody here making a difference. It is good to have Norm Cash, who started the year at first base and hit a ton of home runs, was leading the American League in home runs before they sent him down and gave first base to Tony Horton. And he's had 17 home runs of his own. So that's 30 between the first baseman. And now he's a bench guy. And that could help off the bench, a left-handed bat. It's always a good thing to have with power. Let's take a look at their pitching staff. I mean, it's such a strange team. The players you think would be good, like Louis Tiant and Sam McDowell, really don't have the great ratings. And yet, there's Jerry Stevenson, former pilot. We traded him over there this year. He's still got a 2.85 ERA. He's crushing it. Only 6-7 though. The bullpen is mediocre, but their closer Horacio Pena, 18 saves with an 0.91 ERA. That's pretty solid, right? That's what you want to see. And then you look at their extended bullpen, and there's just a bunch of guys. Sonny Siebert just got injured. He's done for the year. He won't be back until spring training. And with that rating of 77, he might not even have a job. We'll see. Okay, so there's the American League East. I mean, do you think Baltimore is going to hold off New York? I don't know. I don't know if they can. I mean, New York is 2-8 in their last 10, and Baltimore is 8-2. So you can see which direction they're trending. And the Yankees have a ERA under 3. Let's look at the Oakland Athletics. Soon to be Sacramento Athletics in another 50 years, 55 years. Okay, let's see. It's such a weird team. A lot of home run power. That's got to be the thing that's propelling them because their pitchers are injured. Some good names off the bench. Also, Hank Aaron might actually get a shot to play this year. He's got to be getting pinch hit opportunities. Bill McNulty, they sent him back down and put Joe Rudy back in that left field role, which is the right thing to do. He's a better player. He's better rated. An all-star quality player. Let's scroll on down. No injuries. Okay. And now the pitchers, which is the problem. They have, Vita Blue will be back in 5 games, so not a huge problem there. But Catfish Hunter is done for almost all of next year, too. So they're relying on a bunch of schlubs and never-weres. Gilliford, Elanus, and R.B. Bell. R.B. Bell will make one more start. I've never even heard of that guy. So they got Jim Nash and Blue Moon Odom. That's a couple of names you probably recognize. Their bullpen is fantastic. Raleigh Fingers, Jim Panther. They got some great names anyway. And you can see here their extended bullpen. Not a lot of guys to choose from, but I'm sure they'll find a way to throw an inning or two. A team with great hitters, and they're in rough spots with their pitching. Vita Blue coming back will definitely help them. Now, and they're 2-8 in the last 10, so that's tough. Chicago is on a hot streak. And that's because they just have such a consistent team, man. I mean, they have speed at the top, and Bravo always kills us. Everybody in their lineup is a home run threat, other than Bravo and Morales. And you look at the guys on the bench, they're getting it done. You got 4 guys batting over 300. Dick Kenworthy batting 290. I mean, Buddy Bradford batting 308. You look at their extended bench. Not much to see there. Injuries, nobody of note. Okay, let's take a look at the pitching staff. This is a pretty solid pitching staff. I mean, everybody here. The main four is going to get over 200 innings pitched. I'm sure Balo will get there. Again, names you probably don't recognize beyond Tommy John. But Jerry Nyman's probably leading the American League in wins, and I would imagine he's probably going to be a Cy Young candidate. Looking at their extended bullpen. Do they have? Let's look at their injuries. Do they have injuries? Oh, they've got tons of injuries. And they've got none of them coming back. So their closer got injured, and a couple other bullpen guys. Okay, so they're going with Don Eddy as their closer. He's got 11 saves, and he's a lefty. They have 4 lefties in their immediate bullpen, and most of them don't have a lot of experience this year. So that will be interesting. Will the bullpen be able to continue to pitch well despite the season-ending injuries? Can Don Eddy, although he does have a very good rating, continue to get saves as a left-hander? Okay, so that'll do it for the American League. Let's take a look at the National League. Here are the races we've got in the East. St. Louis leading by 4.5. Another team that did a great job with trades, getting Concepcion and Boog going down the list. I mean, they got Veda Pinson deep in the bullpen, on the bench. Bake McBride looks like a recent right field throw-in. He's the regular in the lineup now. If we scroll down, there's no injuries. So this is what they're going to go with, and I mean, how can you beat it? Leadoff hitter Lou Brock batting .308 with 60 stolen bases. That's amazing. And somebody named Tom Heitzelman with 80 runs scored. More than Lou Brock. You got Kurt Flood, Tim McCarthy. I mean, this is nobody ever hits home runs in Old Busch Stadium. So, speed and doubles. They're getting it done. But this rotation is insane. Steve Carlton, Jim Palmer, free agent signing. Mike Torres, Bert Blyleven, Joe DeFabio. 4 great pitchers. They must be going with a 4-man rotation. DeFabio's got 66 innings pitched. Bob Gibson's in the bullpen, for Christ's sake. Come on, that's crazy. Wouldn't you? I mean, he's got the same rating as Joe DeFabio. Wouldn't you rather have Bob Gibson in there? Oh, that's tough. Jerry Royce, Reggie Cleveland coming up, Nelson Bryles. So they have some really good pitchers. I mean, maybe they won't make it up until next year, but man, I don't know how the Mets are going to get over on St. Louis. A 4.5 game lead with less than 30 games to go. It can be done. Now the Mets, this is a weird team. I feel like they interchange their lineup all the time. So no one really gets like everyday playing. Ambus Otis is as good as anybody in the lineup in the outfield. He probably should be in there every game. And he's great defensively at any outfield position. Looking down the bench, I mean, there's a lot of names that are left over from the 69 team. But ultimately, this is what they're going with here. And I don't think that's enough. You got a 63 rated Al Weiss as your shortstop. Is there an injury there? They do have injuries. I guess Bobby File is was their shortstop. Sorry about that. So he's done for everybody's done for the year. Stearns, who wasn't in the majors anyway, and Rod Gaspar is done as well. So yeah, nothing great here other than Von Joshua, 328 batting average. That might be leading the National League. That might be leading all of baseball. We'll find out. And then we look at the pitching staff, and wow, I mean, this rivals the Cardinals. This is how they're staying in it. Nolan Ryan, Tom Terrific, John Matlack and I think a rookie of Jim Bibby, not looking good here, and Bill Connors rounding it out. And they got Coos and Gary Gentry coming back. Well, Gentry will be back before the end of the season. Koosman could be back for the mid playoffs or by the time they go to the World Series. They got to get there first, but I mean this team is stacked. Injuries certainly hurt them. Bullpen is excellent, and the extended bullpen, I mean, doesn't have any really big names in there, but it looks like whomever they put in there gets the job done. Don Cardwell, Ron Taylor. I mean, can the Mets catch the Cardinals? I just don't think they have the hitting. It'll be something to keep an eye on. Yeah, I don't see how. And I guess technically the Cubs are still in it. I mean, they're definitely still in it. I mean, 5.5 back. They got nobody. This is Schlubbersons. They got the great Billy Williams. And that's it. Bunch of suckwads. Do all the cool kids still say suckwad? I don't know. Scrolling on down. Oh, okay. So they lost their third baseman, Bob Bailey, and Adolfo Phillips. 20 home runs and a 291 batting average. That hurts. That is the kind of thing that will keep you out of the playoffs, losing somebody. Oh, and Bob Bailey was batting .321 with 11 home runs when he got injured. So two of their best hitters bit the dust, and I think that's probably going to be the end for them. They do have some good pitchers, too. You got Holtzman, Tom Phoebus coming over from Baltimore, Bert Hooton, Joe Niekro, and Fergalicious. I mean, man, that's three really great pitching staffs. Rotations, anyway. And their bullpen is hit or miss. Do they have injuries? Oh, Rick Russell, who they will get back in 4 days. He's got a 77 rating, so I don't see how he would fit in to the rotation, but he would be a great long relief guy. That's exciting. They have Larry Gura called up. Bill Hands. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the Cubs couldn't do it. I just don't see how they could get past New York and St. Louis. I just don't think that's going to happen. Let's take a look at Los Angeles. We'll also look at Houston, and then we'll get right to the league leaders, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, Dodgers. I don't know why Chavez Ravine was such a terrible stadium during this era, but somehow Ron Say's found a way to hit more than 20 home runs. It's a good team. I think Davey Lopes is in his rookie year in this sim. And good bench guys. And extended benches has options. Let's take a look at injuries. No injuries, so that's good. So it's healthy. They're in first place. Let's look at their pitchers. This is where they might have an advantage. Oh, that's right. Yep, this stupid hitter the game thinks should be pitching, which is wrong. But they got Norman, they got Singer, they got Don Drysdale. I think he's actually already retired in real life at this point. They got Don Sutton down here, who will be back in time for the playoffs. He's going to miss the rest of the regular season. No, he'll come back in time to get one start. That might be important. And if they're in the lead, then he'll be ready for the playoffs. Bullpen is excellent. They have some good choices in middle relief. They got Mike Flanagan. They got everybody is over 80. They could all pitch right now. That's crazy. Jim Brewer, you may want to enjoy whatever time you have left on this team because you're 73. It's not going to keep you around. This is a really good team. When Sutton comes back, that is definitely the team to beat. And I think the problem is Houston has so many injuries. Are they negative? Oh, they barely have money now. I mean, they figured out a way to, be successful, be in the playoff hunt, and still have a little bit of money. I mean, these is talk about schlubby schlubbersons. Man, there's nobody here. They are getting it done with smoke and mirrors. They got Bob Watson. That guy should be in the lineup every single game over Rafael Batista. There's Bill Freehand. How's Bill Freehand up? They have 3 catchers on the roster. That's stupid. John Mayberry with a 94. Wow, they have Watson, John Mayberry, and then the guy they're going with is Rafael Batista. All right. Any injuries? Oh, Jim Wynn. He won't be back. Yeah, that's a terrible lineup. Taking a look at the pitchers. Yeah, I mean, they've suffered injuries. They will get back Blasingame and J.R. Richard, which they need him desperately. In fact, they've gone to a 4-man rotation. Wow. That is something you don't see at all ever, really. So I wonder if they'll go back to a 5-man rotation when J.R. Richard comes back. I don't know. So that's like them admitting they don't have any depth. And you can see they don't have anybody else in their bullpen other than whom you see here. So yeah, this team is a contender when they have all their players healthy, but missing J.R. Richard for 2 more weeks might be enough to kick him right out of the race. That would be 3 starts that he would not be making. And with their last 10, they're basically still neck and neck. Everybody else is done. Montreal and Cincinnati are done for the season. They've already been eliminated. Right now, Montreal would have the first pick overall, followed by Cincinnati. So that's something to keep an eye on, the draft for next year. And then I guess it would be Detroit and then Kansas City, San Diego and Pittsburgh, and then it would be us. And then Atlanta. So what is that, top 7, top 8 pick? We could get closer to number 1. That's our goal right at this point. Okay, guys. So there's the standings and the September call-ups. I hope you found that interesting. I always like to look at that stuff. It's, if anything, it shows you who might be available for trade. You know, if you've got somebody like John Mayberry waiting, either they don't want him, maybe you could trade for him, or maybe that Rafael Batista guy might be someone who could be useful if they're willing to let him go. Let's look at the leaders. We'll try to do this as quickly as we can to wrap it all up. And then we'll move on to the first game of September. Let's look at the batting average. And this is remarkable. Holy shnikey. Rich Rollins batting .314 in the number 2 spot. I never would. I mean, he didn't even have the job. Out of spring training, it was Aurelio Rodriguez because of his defense. Now, Rich Rollins is a huge black mark on our team defensively. In fact, he's made errors in the last 2 games that have cost us. And so, in fact, it cost us in yesterday's game. It actually led to our loss. So, yeah, that's tough. Sanguin in the top 10. Tito Fuentes at number 16. And Jose Cruz. I guess somebody's got to be there. But Joe Torre leading with .318. Pretty cool. Take a look at the top 10. Oh, there is Joel Youngblood. He's actually in Double-A. 20 years old. He's the youngest guy on the list. Except for the rookie Fred Frazier from Minnesota. So there's your batting average leaders. We've got to keep a close eye on Rich Rollins. That would be something if he won the batting title. Okay, let's just go through the hitters and the fielding really quick, and then we'll do the pitchers. There's at-bats. If you're curious, Fred Frazier, the rook. Manny Sanguin, over 500 at-bats already. That's more than I thought. All right, then we have doubles. And, yeah, it's Jose Cruz. 35 doubles. He's been the league leader all along. We have not been hitting home runs. We have nothing but doubles hitters. Manny Sanguian right there, too. All right. Well, yeah, who's grounded did the most double plays? I'm curious. Well, Yastrzemski, that makes sense. Catcher. Big old first baseman. Catcher. The rookie. Joe Pepitone. Joe Pepitone at one point had 17. And that was right before the All-Star break, I think. And he's only had one since then because all we do is hit and run with him now. All right, extra base hits total. John Ellis from Detroit, and then Jose Cruz. That's the doubles coming through. 32 doubles, 19 home runs, no triples. First baseman for the Tigers. Getting the job done. Okay. Let me see all the others. Feel free to pause it if you want to take a longer look, of course. Let's move on to the fielding leaders. This is always interesting. As the worst, the worst catcher in the American League, Gene Tennis is leading defensively. Manny Sanguian right there in the middle of the pack. And the best defensive catcher, essentially, of his era, not named Johnny Bench, of course, certainly in the American League, is the worst defensive catcher. So, thanks, Baseball Mogul. All right, at first base, we have Joe Pepitone, who basically only plays first base as a defensive replacement coming in from right field, and yet he qualifies somehow. I bet he qualifies in right field. Is it possible that he could win 2 Gold Gloves? That'd be weird. And Will Skidmore qualifying. He is the every game starter. We have a platoon going, really. That's interesting. Okay, well, I can't wait till we get to right field. Second base, Tito Fuentes. In the middle, Dalton Jones. Leading, I believe he's platooning with Davey Johnson. All right, and then at third, it's definitely not going to be Rich Rollins. It is Eric Soderholm, representing with a .959 fielding percentage. Shortstop, there's Mark Belanger. Thank goodness at-bats aren't the qualification. He comes in almost every game defensively, so I guess that gets him in there. But he is behind Larry Boa, who is the best defensive shortstop in the American League. Left field, Cruz is way down here. Makes too many errors. Roy White has yet to make an error. I believe he was the Gold Glove winner last year. And there's Joe Rudy back in it, thank goodness. Center field, Scott Northey and Don Bosch. Yeah. Tommy Agee in the middle of the pack for Kansas City now. Rick Miller, number 1 by a lot over Jim Lytle. And then right field, it is Joe Pepitone. Pepitone maybe winning Gold Gloves at 2 positions. Is that even possible? Has that ever been done before in one season? I don't think so. I think they'd probably make you choose. I don't know. I kind of want to see if that happens. That's crazy. We're better defensively than you might think, I guess, is the point. Who's played the most games? Fred Frazier, 132. Rollins and Pepitone, right up there, near the top 10. Hits. Well, that's interesting. Manny Sanguian, he's been very good this year, but I would not think of him as a batter among the hit leaders, but I guess it's just an off year for hitting. Rich Rollins with 128. And Jose Cruz with 125. Joe Torre has the most. Who's been hit by a pitch? Jose Cardinal and Chico Solman. We got Fuentes and Bosch on there. Home runs. Here we go. Yeah, it is Tony Solita with 28. He's 21 home runs off of last year's pace with a month ago. That's not happening. But you do have Reggie. You don't have a lot of home run hitters on this list other than Reggie. Sal Bando did have 20 or more a couple of times, and Mercer definitely did. And Gene Tennis is capable. Yeah, going down the list, I mean, Joe Pepitone did. Yeah, I think it's just an off. I mean, 71 must have been an off year. All right, there's your home runs. Intentional walks. Does anybody care? Tony Solita, Jose Cruz, and Joey Pep. On base percentage. No one over 400. The closest is Ed Herman, catcher for the White Sox. We have nobody on there. Nobody walks on our team except for Jose Cruz. Here's the outfield assists. It's all about Carl Yastrzemski. Scott Northey combined between Kansas City and the Pilots, mostly Kansas City, has 12. And Jose Cruz in left field has 9. They run on him, so I guess he has more opportunity. Okay. Scrolling down. OPS. Ed Herman. And Jose Cruz, with all of his extra base hits, that helps him get on there. He must be up there on slugging percentage. Okay, we don't care about any of that. RBI. Oh, wait, did I miss one here? No, okay. RBIs. Joe Pepitone in the top 10 with 72. This is definitely a down offensive year. We got nobody near 100 with 27 games to go. That doesn't seem right. Sanguillen, there's Jose Cruz with 62. Those are our everyday players. Runners thrown out by the catcher. George Mitterwald with 28. Manny Sanguillen has 26, tied for second technically. All right. But he's got to be pretty low on the percentages. Yeah, he was at 39 last year. He's at 31 this year. If he had repeated himself, he'd be in the number 2 spot. I don't know. That's ridiculous. Runs scored. Jose Cruz, he scored 4 runs in yesterday's ball game. So that had to help him move up the list. He's got 73. Rick Miller should be over 100 by the first week of the month. Moving on down. Sacrifice hits. Does anybody care? Dave Boswell with 11. Good job by Dave Boswell. And Tito Fuentes dropping it like it's hot. Sack flies. Doug Howard of California. And Manny Sanguillen and Joey Pep. All right, almost done here. Slugging percentage. I mean, Jose Cruz has a 416. That's nothing to be proud of. Nobody over 500. Steals, we want to see that. Freddie Patek of the Orioles has 44. Jose Cruz has the most in our team with 18. Don Bosch, down at the bottom, just got caught yesterday. He was 7 for 7. He was 1 for 2 in yesterday's ball game. We're definitely trying to pad our stats as the year wraps up. What else are we playing for, really? Who has struck out the most? Oh, back-to-back Oakland Athletics. Rick Monday and Reggie. Reggie makes total sense. And so does Tommy Agee. Scott Northey just barely makes the list. He does strike out a ton. I don't think he's even got 100 at-bats for us yet, but I feel like he strikes out whenever we need him to do something good. All right, triples. Oh, it's Northey. Combined with 7. Tito, Rollins, Cruz. And walks. Tony Solita with 88. And yeah, we're not going to have anybody on that list. All right. Let's go back to batting average. We'll close it. And then we'll click to the National League. And you can just see the National League leaders here. Yeah, Von Joshua of the Mets, 328. Ralph Garr. I mean, there's some actual real names here. Hall of Famers. That's pretty cool. So there's your top 10. 292 rounds out the top 10 with Tim McCarver. Home runs. Michael Jack has got 28 with Richie Hebner. I don't think Hebner had that kind of power. Bobby Bonds, Ron Say, Orlando Cepeda. George Foster had 50 in his career. So there are some actual home run hitters here that aren't really putting up the home runs that you would think they would have. RBI, Richie Hebner has 101. So there's a couple of guys almost over 100, unlike the American League. And in stolen bases is Matt Alexander, Lou Brock, Davey Lopes, Joe Morgan. So some speedsters there for sure. But then it really drops off, right? 17 in the top 10? That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's take a look at pitching, and then we are done. I don't know why it's always doing this calculating, sorting. Okay, let's do poop. Let's do, well, we'll do complete games, I guess. And there we go. Yeah, Eddie Messersmith with 12. That's amazing. Joe Coleman and Dave McNally have 10 as well. I think we have someone who has 2, right? Oh, no, 3. I think Boswell has 3 with 2 shutouts. ERA. Al Downing with a 2.48 ERA. Four pitchers under 3. That seems unlikely. And Rubio with a 3.80 ERA. Wait, 1, 2. All the Yankees are in the top 7. All 5 Yankee starters are in the top 7. That's amazing. That's how they catch Baltimore. Baltimore has Lopez, who's injured, and then Barnowski, Bud Steven, Dave McNally. Their ace is right there. Okay. Well, that's how they catch them for sure. Games pitched. Ken Sanders with 65. There's all of our pitchers right there. All right. Who's forcing people into double plays? Anybody on our team? No. Dick Bozeman. All right. Almost done. Who's hit the most? Maloney and Vollweiler with 10. Rubio's hit 6. Who's given up the most home runs? Mickey Lolich with 36 on Detroit. A couple of Indians pitchers. And Boswell's given up 26 home runs. That is Dave Rozema-like from our Detroit Tigers season. Dave Rozema would give up. He's such a soft tosser. He would just give up so many home runs. Innings pitched. Yeah, nobody on our team. Mel Stottlemyre with 245 in a third. Quality starts. Boswell's got 18 quality starts. Mel Stottlemyre with 25. Couple of the Yanks in there. Some other schlubs. There's Vita Blue. All right. Keeping it rolling. Saves. Okay, saves is the next category. There's Raleigh, you got fingered. He's got 25 with Tom Hall of Minnesota. Wayne Granger, I have no idea how he even got to 23. He's got more blown saves than everybody other than the top 10 that have saves. That's not good. All right. Shutties. Joe Coleman's got 6 shutouts. That's incredible. And Dick Bozeman's got 4 on the team, and Larry Dierker's got 3. Washington must be a pitcher's park, RFK Stadium. All right. Starts. Yeah, 32. Dave Boswell's got 28. Stay healthy, you'll be on the list. Strikeouts pitched. Sam McDowell, 178. It doesn't really seem like a lot. Dave Boswell is on the list. He's one of those guys that gets 3, and then he gets 10, and then he gets 2, and then he gets 8. You know, just not consistent, but he's right there. I mean, walks per 9 innings. Fritz Peterson gives up the least amount of walks with Tom Bradley. Nobody on our list. Everybody, we walk more than we actually strike out anyone. That's the sad thing. And finally, wins. Jerry Nyman, he has 3 more wins than Vita Blue, who's injured. So there may be only one 20-game winner unless someone goes on a tear here at the end. Jorge Rubio with 12. That's pretty miraculous in and of itself. Okay, let's just take a look at the 4 major categories for the National League, and then we wrap this sucker up. So there's wins, there's ERA, there is strikeouts, and there is saves. Okay, and then we'll flip it over to the National League, and then we'll call it a day. All right, in the top 10, oh, it's Steve Carlton. That's somebody you would expect, and of course a batter who's actually somehow made a pitcher. His pitch is doing just as well as Nolan Ryan. That's a great job, Baseball Mogul. You see a lot of big names in here. That's cool. ERA, Nolan Ryan with a 184. How many shutouts? He's got 8 shutouts. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And he only has 18 wins. That is nuts. J.R. Richard, I mean, just all the good pitchers. They're all in the National League. Can you imagine if our Pilots batters had to play against Ryan, Richard, Blyleven, Don Wilson, Seaver, Sutton, and Carlton? Oh my God, we would get 30 wins probably. Strikeouts, holy shnikey, 267 for Ryan. What's the most he's ever had? 314. What's the most in a season? 373? I can't remember. That's crazy. And then Carlton's also over 200. Bob Meyer, former Seattle Pilot. He's walked too many, but he strikes out a ton, and that's what I liked about him. He had 119 strikeouts and 147 2/3 in our expansion season. And then we ended up trading him to Pittsburgh for Manny Sanguillen, so that worked out okay. All right. And saves, we have Steve Bailey. I don't even know who Steve Bailey is. That's who he is. On Cleveland. And now on Houston. How did he get over there? Oh, he was already on the team somehow. Okay, well, that's who it is. Can't argue with the stats. Tekulve McGorry, Lamb, Laxton, Bolin, McCool, Ron Reed, Bob Reynolds, Darcy Fast. That's a great name. Okay, kids, that's going to do it. I hope that was entertaining and informative. This is the kind of thing that I do even if I wasn't doing it for the channel. I would always go back and spend time doing all this stuff at the end of every month. We do have one more game against the Royals, which we'll play tomorrow. And then we have 9 games against the Yankees. Every game is against the American League East, although we are in the West, other than this game we're going to play tomorrow. And then we've got 7 against the Tigers, a 4-game series versus the Red Sox, 3 against the Indians, and 3 against the Orioles, and that'll wrap up our year. So we've got the number 1 and number 2. We got 12. We got 15 games against the first and second place teams, and 3 against the third place team. So we're in real trouble. We may not win another game this year. We might not even get to 70 wins. But we'll find out at the end of the season. If you didn't already know how we do it, we do play the playoffs. We go day by day. We'll play all the way through the World Series. This is in a separate video, obviously. And then once we're done with the video, once we're done with the playoffs, then we'll do the free agent signings for our own team and the arbitration eligible players. And then that's when the free agent period starts, and that's where we end it, so that when you come back in the fall, when we start the 1972 season, I'll have already done all the off-season work, and we'll be ready to go. And I'll show you what has changed in that period. So that's what you have to look forward to for the pilots. And then starting at the end of this Seattle Pilots, we're going to do the 1998 Arizona Diamondbacks inaugural year, and start from there. Our first real opportunity to play the National League and to have more modern players. I think that will be fun. So that's the plans going forward. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll